Hi, today we'll talk about your different abilities as Varus. I'm talking about this because I've seen some people fail with AP Varus because they didn't know what each ability does and what it's useful for, so I'll just cover this in this video. Let's first talk about your W. Many people overestimate Varus W in the early game because it doesn't deal any damage there, it only starts to do damage in the mid or late game. So you shouldn't try that hard to proc it. Let's talk about your Q next. While your Q is only used to proc your W in the late game, in the early game it is the most potent damage source, so you should just charge it fully every time unless the enemy has CC. This also brings me to my next point, because enemies can interrupt your Q, which is annoying as hell, so you have to watch out to not use your Q while you can be CC'd easily. You can also use things like Flash or Proto Belt during your Q charge time, so you can surprise your enemy, which is really nice. The next ability I want to talk about is your E. Your E is probably the ability with the most downsides, because it does no damage and has a long cast time, so I would recommend to only use it if the enemy has to go through a complete E. For example, when running away you cast it right behind you and not on the enemy, and to proc your W, of course. The last thing I want to talk about is your ult, which is probably also the most important thing to talk about. Because first of all, to all of you who didn't know that, your ult generates W stacks, which is really helpful for your late game one shots, but sadly there are many problems with that aspect of your ult, because those stacks will only be generated if the enemy is still snared, so if they have tenacity, you will only generate 2 stacks and not 3, and you also won't generate stacks on people like Olaf, because well, he won't be CC'd. And another thing you can do with your ult is to ult first and then flash, and then your ult will be fired at the position you ended up after your flash. And what a surprise! We're at the end of the video. Goodbye and have a nice day.